Good evening and welcome to the October 10th, 2017 Valley View School Board District Board Meeting. Mr. Bederis, would you please lead us in the pledge? Ms. Perro, could you please read the affirmation of the Board of Education mission statement? Add.
Our mission is to empower all learners to be college and career ready and to develop, grow, and achieve as productive citizens.
Dr. Mitchum, the agenda, please.
Yes, I'd like to ask that the board approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye. The ayes have it. All those roll call vote.
Member Bederis?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Mr. Kasafi, the treasurer's report, please.
Yes, Treasurer's Action Report 5.1 includes the financial reports, balance sheets, summary of revenue, expenditures, and encumbrances, as well as the interim obligation payments for September 2017, totaling $4,727,223.47 for your consideration and action.
So moved.
Any questions or discussions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Bederis?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Treasurer's Action Report 5.2 is the schedule of bills for October 2017. Total bills payable for the month, $5,397,054.02 for your action.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Bederis?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
We've got the summary of investments, property taxes received, state funding update, and all schools trust account activity for August. If you've got any questions, I'd be happy to answer for you at this time.
Okay. Consent agenda items, Dr. Mitchum.
I'd like to ask the board to approve consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.5. 6.1 board meeting minutes 9/25/17. 6.2 executive session meeting minutes 9/25/17. 6.3 resolution number 1598 approving health insurance exemptions for 2018. 6.4 gifts for Bolingbrook High School, BJ Ward Elementary School, Oakview Elementary School, and Romeoville High School, and 6.5 trips for Brooks Middle School.
Second.
Any discussions or questions?
I had a few questions. On consent agenda items 6.3, there's ACA limits. I guess I'm just trying to figure out comparing the two. ACA limits compared to our limits on the health insurance. That's for mental illness and for substance abuse. And I was just wondering if somebody could just explain, I guess, our limits as compared to what the ACA would be.
I don't know what the ACA limits are. I know what our plan limits are, and they're outlined in the memorandum. This is not a plan design change. This is something that we've exempted ourselves from for probably the last 15 years or better. And so by virtue of us being a non-governmental, self-funded health plan. We're able to exempt ourselves from certain federally mandated requirements. This is the only one that we exempt ourselves from, is the mental health parity.
I guess my concern is with the mental health issue, because I know a lot of teachers in the district and workers in the district could possibly have some issues with stress and mental health problems. And it seems to me that our health insurance is putting limits on the amount of time for care, whereas this is just my interpretation. That's why I was asking if I'm wrong on this. We put limits on the amount of days they can be cared for, but in the ACA it says that the amount of days cannot be distinguished differently from other health issues. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know what the ACA limits are. Assuming that you are correct, that would potentially mean unlimited exposure for that type of care.
Sharon, do you know anything about that for sure?
No, sorry, I do not.
Okay. Do you think we could table maybe that one?
Sure.
Okay. 6.3. And I apologize, it was a busy day today, so I wasn't able to ask for that a little earlier.
Excuse me.
Sure.
In order to table that, it would take a motion and a second to move it off of the consent agenda
Okay.
and table it all at one fell swoop.
So I need to make a motion to table that?
Table it and remove
And-
it from the consent agenda and table it until the next board meeting.
And remove it from the consent agenda until the next board meeting.
You need a second off of that.
In order for it to be tabled, another board member has to second the motion.
Do we have a second?
Liz, are you seconding? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now we vote on it.
May I have a roll call vote, please?
Member Burduris,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Gilbo,
Yes.
Member Perro,
No.
Secretary Sikora,
No.
President Pro Tem Zach.
Yes.
Okay. I believe we have a motion on the table to approve the consent agenda. Is that correct?
Yes, we do.
Do we have a second?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so it will be a roll call vote at this time.
Okay. Member Perro,
Yes.
Member Burduris,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Gilbo,
I apologize, what are we voting on? What are we voting on?
The consent agenda.
Yes.
Secretary Sikora,
Yes.
and President Pro Tem Zach.
Yes.
Number 7.
Student staff recognition. We have none tonight.
None tonight.
Liaisons.
Board member liaison report from my left.
Member Burduris and myself attended a council advisory meeting at Romeville High School last week. Romeville High School is pushing into some classes to work with students on such things as appropriateness of cell phone usage, dress, that type of thing. And they're working with, I believe it was the juniors on that, or was the sophomores? Maybe it was sophomores. And they also went over some other ideas that we discussed of them working with the students. I also attended, as did Member Perro, I had to think who was there, the 50th anniversary at Tibbet School, which was very nicely done. The children enjoyed it. They had a lot of activities for the children outside for that celebration, and that was also very nicely done.
I attended the Safe School Conference that we talked about for quite a while here. It was a couple Thursdays ago. Actually, it went very, very, very well, and we got a lot of positive feedback on it. It happened 3-4 days before the event in Las Vegas, so I just said to Gary before the meeting tonight, I think that Safe School Conference would have had a whole new twist had it been the week later. But it ended up being a really good conference.
I attended the Tibbet 50th anniversary also, and just before I had gotten there, it was one of the first grade teachers and her student the parent was showing her little daughter who's in first grade, kindergarten now, because she was at our Head Start, and they didn't know that they were standing there, so Ms. Wilson was able to take a picture of them, so that was very interesting.
Audience participation. Is there anybody that would like to address the board? Action report, Dr. Mitchum.
No report. No. We have the student action reports. I'm sorry. I ask that the board approve student due process cases A and B as amended.
So move.
Second.
May I have a roll call vote, please?
Member Perro,
Yes?
Member Gilbo,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Badouris,
Yes.
Secretary Sikora,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach.
Yes. Action report, Ms. Kinder.
No report this evening.
Action report, Mr. Gurzafi.
Yes, one this evening, renewal of accounts receivable collection service contract. We are again recommending we renew with Transworld Systems Incorporated to aid us in our accounts receivable collections. Cost for the service is $7.85 per collection, with a base contract of 10,000 accounts for a total contract cost of $78,500. The contract contains a guaranteed 200% return on investment, and we have included this expenditure in the 2017-18 budget. So at this time, we are recommending approval of the renewal of the contract with Transworld as presented.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion or questions?
I have a question. Excuse me, let me get my thoughts together. There were two tables. One was showing the amount of fees that people owe this year, and one was showing the amount of fees that people owe this year plus previous years. On the one that showed this year, it showed 4,938 people owing fees or whatever different fees that they had. On the table that was for this year and the previous years, it was, I don't know the exact number, but close to that same number of 4,000 some. So I guess I'm just asking, do you add the two together? How does that, if you could explain that to me, please.
The 4,948 that is on the current year and prior years would be all total included.
So that's like about 60 more, or is it in addition to? Is it like this year and the previous year shows only a few more than just this year?
Yeah, it is only showing a difference of 10, you're correct.
And our base price is based on 10,000.
Correct.
So that would be almost double of the amount of people that do owe?
Yeah, typically we'll do 2 rounds of collections, one in the fall, in October, right now in October, and then one in the spring. We typically don't send collection notices to anybody under $30 is our threshold. So anybody owing $30 or less, that would not be broken out on these reports. And so we typically get 2 years out of a contract, if that answers your question.
So the return is 200% about. So I'm just wondering is this a typical number, I guess? I'm just asking, this 4,938, is that a typical number
It grows typically every year. When we say 200% return on investment, that's 200% on the $78,000 investment.
Right.
And you see, and then I think there's a third chart in the packet that has the collection history.
And that contract's for 2 years?
It actually doesn't have an expiration date. It expires when we use all of the 10,000 accounts.
Oh, I see.
So, like I said, typically we get 2 years of collections out of that 10,000
Oh, okay, that
service
makes a
account.
difference, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Gilbo,
Yes.
Member Perro,
Yes.
Member Badouris,
Yes.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Secretary Sikora,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach.
Yes. Action Report, Human Resources, Mrs. Hawks.
Thank you. This evening, I'm bringing Action Report 13.1 for the board's approval. This is a consolidated action report for certified and classified personnel. It includes 7 items for certified personnel and 22 for classified personnel.
So move. Second.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell,
Yes.
Member Badouris,
Yes.
Member Perro,
Yes.
Member Gilbo,
Yes.
Secretary Sikora,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach.
Yes. Superintendent Information Reports.
Yes, thank you. Information Report 14.1. I'm bringing forward 2 advanced placement courses on behalf of Ms. Tammy Connor, Director of Career and Technical Education, and the teacher leaders that have worked in developing these courses. We're always continuing to refine and expand our opportunities and offerings for our learners, and this is a prime example. The 2 courses that we are bringing forth tonight are AP Computer Science Principles and AP Computer Science. In order to better prepare our students for the expanding growth opportunities and relevance in the real world, we feel that these are 2 courses that are of great importance to our learners. The first course, first of all, College Board determines the content that is included in these courses, and so I'll just give you a brief description of those 2 courses. AP Computer Science Principles is an introductory course to computer science. It emphasizes computational thinking and fluency. Students work with computational tools to analyze and study data. They work with large data sets to design and implement computer programs that solve problems relevant to today's world. They also apply programming tools and solve complex problems through hands-on experiences and examples. The second course is AP Computer Science, and this is a course focusing on the fundamentals of computing, including problem solving, working with data, understanding the internet, cybersecurity, and programming. The intent is to reinforce problem-solving skills using computer language that allows for consistent translation, and the language is Java, which is what the students are tested on the exam. So both of these courses would allow our students the opportunity to take the advanced placement course and earn college credit. And so if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer that this evening or between now and the next board meeting.
I have a question. I
Sure.
meant to ask you this when I emailed you earlier. Do we currently have a teacher who is qualified other than taking that one class that's currently teaching that will be qualified probably to be able to teach this?
Yes, we do.
So they'll be able to get that training that they
Yeah, and advanced placement does require advanced degree in the content area to teach the course, and then there is a training that is required as well.
Okay, good, thank you.
Are the prerequisites that we have for these courses the same as what they would be in a college level?
I believe that it is comparable. Ms. Khan, can you confirm that? Yes. Okay. Yes, it is comparable, and that's just based on the sequence of knowledge, that base that the students would need to have in order to be successful in these courses.
Okay, I have a couple questions. IDE needs to be installed in order for us to do this. What is that?
That is integrated development environment. It's basically a space, for lack of a better word, where students can practice their programming and their computational work in kind of like a sterile environment, kind of a protected environment is maybe a better word for it.
A separate computer lab?
It's not a separate computer lab. It's something that would be installed on our on our machines, on our devices.
Okay, so will that be extra cost?
I'm going to have to defer to Ms. Khan to help me out on that one. Come on. This is Tammy Khan, our Director of Career and Technical Education, and she's going to confirm that for us.
We have already purchased, prior to this, a set of what we refer to as off-domain computers for each school, for Romeoville and for Bolingbrook. So they have a set of 30 computers already that this environment already exists in our district. So no additional cost.
Okay, that's nice. I have one more question. With the AP courses, I know when I left there were a few AP courses, but we're getting a lot more. The kids that take these advanced placement courses for college credit, do they get to take tests 3 times and get to have 3 weeks for their homework to get done like the rest of the students, or no? The retake policy, do they have that?
In learning, yes. When they sit for the College Board exam, no, that they have to demonstrate proficiency at that time. But in the process of instruction, the teacher does use the process of assessing the students to see where they're at and see where the deficits lie, and then reteaching or relearning or providing additional opportunity and reassessing. So yes, that takes place throughout instruction, just like it does in any good, good instruction in any classroom. But when they sit for the AP exam, they take that. Now they can retake that, but their score stands based on what they take.
The AP exam is akin to our final exams. The kids don't retake our final exams, but leading up to that exam, they have a myriad of opportunities to support proficiency. Mm-hmm. But once they take the final exam, then that's it.
So with the, I don't know which one to ask, with the curriculum of these classes, is that set by the college or is that set by the school?
That is set by the College Board. And that is in accordance with what would be expected of a student at the college level. So it's comparable to a semester course at college of a first level computer science course. And that's determined by the College Board. So that would be the same if a student took that AP course here in Valley View or in a neighboring district. It would be the same expectations.
For that actual test at the end?
For
the same, or the whole,
for the
all
content
the
of the course, for the materials, and then for the test, the exam as well, is the same nationwide.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a question. I just want to make a comment. I think this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Tammy. Okay. 14.2, Mr. Gavassi.
Just FYI, we opened bids for snow removal at Bolingbrook High. We've been outsourcing our snow removal since the school opened back in 2004. We have not renewing our contract with our current provider. We put it out to bid last year, actually in October of 2016. And at this time, bids were open last week. We're in the process of evaluating those bids, and we'll bring you the results at our next board meeting.
Gary, will we always have an outside source do Bolingbrook High School? Is that always going to pretty much stay that way?
We have had a lot of discussion over the years about bringing it back in-house, and obviously it requires some additional manpower as well as some equipment, increase in equipment. It is obviously a very large facility, a lot of flat surface that needs to be addressed very early in the morning, and for our crews to be able to open the district, if you will, after a snowfall, it just presents an enormous amount of challenges. One of the requirements of any vendor that we've used is that they keep the equipment on site. And so we know it's always there. They're not bringing it in on a trailer or driving it in from a remote location. We don't do that at any of our sites. All of our own gear is housed at the maintenance barn. And so splitting the crew, if you will, to do Romeoville High and Bolingbrook High as well as the Ad Center, so we can start opening, just present some logistical challenges. But it is something we continue to consider as we move forward.
So is Bolingbrook High School the only one that's outsourced?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on, we've got E-rate. Over the last 3 years, the technology department has provided an entire district network infrastructure upgrade plan. Back in 15-16, the wireless network upgrade included all access points and routers. In 16-17, we upgraded switches, routers, firewalls, and caching servers. In 17-18, the final year of the plan would be to upgrade our switches and UPSs as well as our wide area network radios. We're doing this in conjunction with a program known as E-rate. E-rate is a program that provides discounted telecommunications, internet access, and internal connections to schools and libraries funded through the USF, or Universal Service Fund. The program has a very high level of integrity to ensure that funds are provided to eligible entities for specific services and equipment with very clear responsibilities for participants. We've participated in the program since 2002. The Tech Department, in conjunction with our E-rate consultant, completed an application selection process for vendors to provide these new wide area network connections, switches, and UPSs utilizing the E-rate program, which will fund up to 80% of the hardware cost based on E-rate Category 1 and 2 allowances. A request for proposal was posted following all compliance processes and timelines in March, April of 2017. Proposals were assessed based on the stringent program requirements, and vendors were selected utilizing the decision matrix included in the RFP. And that is included under Figure 2 in your packet. Total cost of these upgrades, $489,000. With the USF discount at 80%, they'll be covering $348,000, leaving a balance to be covered by the district of $140,000 to be incorporated into the tech lease that was approved several months ago. It is our hope that all of this work could be completed by June 30th, 2018, and we will bring a firm recommendation back to you at our next meeting.
Thank you. Legal service, any report?
Can I ask some questions about that?
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks. First of all, I think it's really great that we're getting updated and that we do it at 80% discount. That's awesome. And I really like that we have so much technology going on for the kids and the new classes that are being created. That is really great. I just have a couple questions about this deal that we had. The years are a little confusing. Did it start in 2015 and then it's ending in 2017? I know we're on our third year, I thought, but then I thought I saw somewhere it said 2015.
We are in the third year of upgrading our infrastructure. This was a plan that was devised internally. I don't know if you're asking about a plan for the district or E-rate in general.
Yeah, I think maybe both. I'm not sure. I was just wondering if we are done after, this is the third year, are we done after that, or is there still going to be continuous infrastructure with a different plan, or?
We will have a very robust wide area network infrastructure within the district that should buy us several more years of operations without having to upgrade anything else. Pretty much wall-to-wall wireless coverage in all buildings. You'd be hard-pressed to find a place within a building that doesn't have some sort of Wi-Fi access.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm kind of asking, when we in our first year, there was a big chunk of money. Did we pay that up front and then we're just paying those little increments now within the second year and the third year? And then we just have that small amount that's left for this last third year?
Each year is kind of stands on its own. You're required to put out a request for proposal depending on what work you actually want to do. So the figures that are contained in the exhibit are just for this year only. In years past, that work would have been completed at 80%. Those vendors would have been paid directly for that 80% from USAC, and we would have paid the balance 20%.
Okay, and then I just have one more question. It says that there's $64,649 for additional components. And I was just wondering what that might be. It says these components, along with professional support training for staff and installation, total to $64,649 additional. So I was just wondering what type of other components, if you would know what those were.
Hello, Member Gilbo, Astrid Welch, Director of Technology here. The USAC program, which we participate in, has very strict guidelines as to what we can spend the money on, and training is not included in that. Also, with the UPSs, we have a card in the piece of hardware that monitors the UPS. It doesn't allow us to utilize funds to have that card. So we pay for those directly, and we utilize the E-rate funding for all the items that we're eligible to utilize. And that's not just us, it's any school or library that participates in the program.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Legal service.
I have no legal report tonight, but I would ask that you keep your fellow Americans in Puerto Rico in your thoughts. Thanks.
AFT, any report? Valley View Council, any report? Valley View Office Personnel Council, they have no report tonight. Thank you. Any old business from the board? Any new business from the board? Any questions from the public on any action that we have taken tonight? Any announcements from the board?
Just a reminder that, excuse me, the H2O Heart Haven Hustle is October 15th, which is this coming Sunday. There is still time to register. Go to hearthavenoutreach.org and you can register there. Also, I attended, and Zach was there as well on Saturday. Romeoville High School hosted a marching band competition. And I've been to a lot of marching band competitions in my time with my own kids in high school, and they're big events. They are big events. And the ones that I've been to have been, these schools have been hosting them for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And they just flow seamlessly. And in spite of the last minute changes that had to be made, or accommodations, I should say, that had to be made due to the Mother Nature pouring on us, Romeoville's marching, what they call it, RHS Spartan Classic, their marching band competition for the first year, was seamless, and it appeared to me like they had been doing it for 15 years. So kudos to them, to the band department, to the band boosters, because I know to pull off something like that, it takes probably about 100 volunteers. And they did a really, really, really nice job. So good job, Romeoville.
I just would like to say the exact same thing that Diane. My daughter played in the band for 4 years. We go to these things. We always would go to ISU and watch them. They did a great job. And thank you for all the band parents that were out there in that rain. They went beyond, just to say thank you. Any announcements from the administration?
No announcements.
Any announcements from the public? Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you for attending tonight. Roll call vote.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell? Yes. Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Thank you for attending tonight. Meeting adjourned.
Another one down. So are you guys going Thursday to the?